Hey, James Canady again. I'm here with another video. This one about the IELTS exam. Now, I've been an IELTS teacher and an examiner in many countries, including the US, Canada, Vietnam, Iraq, and Kurdistan. I know a lot about this exam from every section: listening, writing, reading, and speaking. But today we're going to speaking. A lot of students have been asking me about this. James, how do you prepare for the exam? James, are there any tips or tricks when you do study for it? What are the best books? Well, for this video, I'm going to share my top 3 tips. We're going to go through the speaking part alone, and these tips will help you. If you do them and use them with your regular study plan, they will help you improve your score. So let's go into it. Tip 1 is for part 1 of the speaking exam. It's really easy, part 1. Many people often overlook it, right? Introduction questions about your family, sometimes hobbies, where you're from, really easy stuff. Now, I want you to focus on this part. Tip 1, over-prepare for part 1. Why? Because when you kill part 1, you build a strong beginning. You build confidence, and that carries over into the second part and third part of that speaking exam. It is so important when you're doing this to get off to a strong start. You're sitting with probably a foreigner, an examiner, in a high-stress situation. Part 1 is the best opportunity to begin strong. Tip number 2, linking words. We talk about them a lot. We read about them a lot in terms of this IELTS exam. Now, a lot of the focus with linking words is kind of, directed at reading, writing, and listening, right? The traps of listening. Linking words, however, are my number 1 thing, or number 2 thing in this video, for improving your speaking section. Now, an example of a linking word. However, a lot of questions on the speaking section of this exam will ask you about your favorite sport, restaurant, family member. This allows you to give some options and show your vocabulary, and then link it with however and show your favorite or express your favorite. Now, an example is in part 1, what is your favorite sport? That's a great question. I like hockey. I really like basketball. However, my favorite sport is football. That linking word shows that you understand a few vocab words of that question of sports, and that you can express your thought change and what is your favorite sport. So I'm going to include some other linking words in the information below, but that's tip number 2. Use them in part 1, part 2, part 3 of the speaking exam. Practice them with your classmates, friends, and get used to it, because you will use these outside of the speaking section too. They're everywhere, and they're really important to show your understanding of the language. Tip number 3, do what you're doing now and use the internet. Now, when you are preparing for the IELTS exam, specifically speaking, you should have an idea of what score you need. Maybe you need a 6 to study at a college in Canada. Maybe you need a 7 for the next promotion in your job. When you have that score, you should be going into YouTube and online and looking at example IELTS exams with that specific score. Now, after you do that, you can of course look at other scores and compare, look for differences in the amount of mistakes and the skills and strengths while using the actual IELTS rubric. It's a really important step to see where you fit or where you need to be in order to achieve your goals. And YouTube, the internet, there are many websites that give you this free resource of actual IELTS exams. I'm going to go ahead in the comments as well and put these some of these links in so you can explore them. If you have questions, you can reach out to me as well. Thanks for watching and listening to my 3 tips. Please subscribe, share, follow, and I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks a lot.